Hello, darlings. Guys, let me just start by apologizing for having not uploaded anything in like a minute. I always say adulting, crazy. Do not subscribe to that thing. Anyways, guys, I've been watching a lot of Abel Mutua videos lately. I just got inspired to do stories just this one time because I realized stories can be entertaining, they can teach a lesson, they can be inspirational, they can be just anything. I don't know what this is going to be, but it's going to be interesting because today I'm going to be telling you a story about one of my ouch moments in my being in radio and TV. You might want to sit back for this. My name is Susan Grace and welcome to my channel. So I'm just going on with my day like kawaida, and then my aunt drops me a message on WhatsApp. I don't read it, like I just do a drop down and read the message, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna read it a bit later because I think I was in transit. I was not very settled in, you know. So I just carry on with my day, and I think a bit later she realized, oh girl, ain't seen my message. So she gave me a call and she's like, have you seen my message? And I'm like, not really. She's like, I sent you an email address. I need you to send your CV to the email. And I'm like, why am I sending my CV to the email? You know, and she's like, you just said. And I'm like, no. Now, this whole time, I'm working for station, let me just call it Station X, okay? So when she's telling me to send my CV, I need to understand what I'm getting myself into on the other side. So we just had like a whole back and forth of send, I'm not sending, blah, blah, blah. And then later she's like, but you studied this radio TV manenos. I'm like, I sure did. And she's like, then send your email. Send the email. I'm like, I sure won't. Because I need to understand what I'm getting myself into. So she didn't tell me. So the conversation ended and I was like, fine, I'm gonna send. So I sent it. And then later I'm like, okay, I sent my CV. Could you give me something to work with? Like, what is this I'm sending my CV to? She didn't tell me. Yeah. So anyway, later, turns out they were having a conversation with a relative of mine. I was, whatever. And this relative works in a certain station. So I don't know what the conversation was, but it sure had a lot to do with me and my career. So I was like, oh, you could have said that, but I still don't know where I'm sending my CV to. So I'm still like, what? Because I'm still working for the station. But anyway, so this relative got in touch with me later in the week, and he's like, all right, come to this and this place, here are the directions, nini. He still is not giving me a name, but I'm like, you know what, it is what it is, I'ma show up. So I did, and he's like, I'm gonna squeeze in an interview with you with one of the people. So I'm like, cool. So I'm seated at the reception, I'm a bit nervous, and then later I go in the interview, I have a conversation with the person. And he's very impressed because I told him everything there was to tell about me and my career. I told him what I'd done before, what I'm doing, what I can do, etc. I really put out a good word for myself. So anyway, he was impressed and he's like, great, when can you start? Oh no, first he told me at the moment we're looking for reporters. And I was like, ooh. I'm like, sure. But the thing is, I've never been a reporter. I've never done reporting. But then I was like, where's the harm? So I was like, sure. So he asked me, when can you start? And I said Monday. And I remember this particular day was on a Thursday. So I was like, let's do Monday. Let me just, organize myself before then. He's like, cool. So I go back home. I'm very excited. I have another opportunity. Now, the truth of the matter is, as much as I was working for Station X, I'd already planned to leave. Okay? Don't want y'all thinking I'm a traitor or something. I was already planning to leave because let me tell you this, don't you ever stay where you're not appreciated. Period. There's a very thin line between being given an opportunity and being exploited. Oh my God, I'm so deep. Anyway, I was planning to leave the other station either way. So when this opportunity came, I'm like, okay, oh well. So on Monday I show up to work. I didn't have something concrete to do per se, you know, it was just you come on Monday. I didn't have like an assignment, so to say. So I was like, let me just go there and figure out how it works. So before Monday, of course, I did some research and I was like, do you guys have meetings? When do you guys meet? Blah, blah, blah. Because I wanted to be very intentional, okay? So it turns out they meet every morning at 8. I think it was very early. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be in those meetings. So I'll just be in the meetings, writing notes, doing what? I was basically just doing the most. Okay, and then sometimes I just like get on YouTube, learn how to report, because reporting is not just as easy as reporting, like, you know. So anyway, 3 days down the line, I'm like, I don't feel quite productive. I need to do something. I need to do more than just showing up. So what I used to do those 3 days was I'd just hang out with people who are editing their footage, and I'd just learn a thing or two, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big on editing. I'm big on being in the camera. Anyway, so I'd just hang out with them, learn how to edit, do whatever needs to be done. And then later, I was like, I cannot stand this. It was becoming, I was feeling a bit redundant. So I went to my, let me say, sort of superior, and I told him, yo, I need to do something. I need to do something. So I told him I had a bunch of ideas of feature stories that I need to do. So I ran them with him, and I told him I'd want to start with this particular feature story. So when can I go shoot it? And he's like, you know, for now it might be tricky because there were a lot of camera people and vans that had gone outside Nairobi. So they were like limited camera people and whatever resources within Nairobi, because most had gone outside Kajiado, some those far places. So he's like, for now, just be going in the field with someone who's going to do a story so you can learn a thing or two. And I'm like, sure thing, I'm down. So who's going today? You know, because I just want to do things like right there, and I don't want to feel very useless, you know. So I didn't go somewhere that day, but the next day I did. And then after that, I remember I pushed to do one of the feature stories on a Friday. I really pushed, but then the thing you have to understand is I was not a priority. My story, no matter how big it is, it's not a priority because I'm not like officially staff. And one thing that my boss has taught me, very powerful lady, is when you see a cloud as small as a man's hand, man, you power that thing, you just glorify it because you know rain is coming. Basically, when you see a very small opportunity, run with it and make it big. So that is what I was doing. So anyway, on Friday, I didn't do the story, but I did go in the field sometime. So I told my superior on Monday, first thing, you're gonna sign whatever needs to be signed. Assign me a camera, assign me a driver. I'm going to do this feature story because whomever is in the story is willing. They're down. I told them we're going to do it on Monday, so we better do it on Monday, you know? So I pushed for it, and Monday came and I was assigned a camera person and a driver. So here's a girl who's been in the building for like 2 minutes. She's already getting a driver and a camera person, and she's not even staff. I did go out on Monday to the field, I did my story, but here's the interesting thing. The whole time I was outside, I had a very deep gut feeling that things are not okay in the office. Like there's somebody or some people who are not very okay with the fact that this girl is out with an entire camera person and an entire company van, you know? But I was like, you know what? Let me just do my stuff. So when I get back to the office, I have something to show. Anyway, I got back to the office. It was a fantastic day. Everything was done. Everything was just checked, you know. I got all the footage that I needed. So I get back to the office, you know, because it was a bit late. I want to take my bag, go home, shower, feel proud, you know, just the basic stuff. But, so my superior called me on the side and was like, I need to have a meeting with you. And I was like, that's fine, because I thought it was a debrief. I thought he just wants to debrief, know how it went, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, sure thing, sir. I'm about to make you proud. Honey, hold that thought because I want to take you a little bit back. So when I came for the interview, I met the person who I thought was the guy, right? And he asked me, when are you done? And I'm like, Monday, darling, I'm down. So when I came now the next week, I did realize that there's another the guy. Like now he is more superior than the guy, right? So I was like, oh, then he must be the boss. So I need to make sure I introduce myself to him formally so that he doesn't feel like I'm a nobody around here. So I spoke to my direct superior and I was like, as my superior, what do you think I should do about this? And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm already going to tell him about you, yada yada yada. So my superior told him, the big guy, about me. All right. So since I attend every meeting in the morning, I did have this one time I was told to introduce myself because my face has been, a bit familiar in this place. We might as well catch your name, sis. And I was like, sure, my name is Susan Grace. Of course I didn't do this, but I introduced myself. So that's the second time. So when I was introducing myself, the boss was there. Second time. Third time, I thought to myself, I think it would be very polite if I actually went and introduced myself to him personally. So I did go to his office. I told him who I am, what I've done, as usual, putting out a good word for myself, what I've done, what I can do, what I want to bring to the table, yada, yada, yada. And he was like, cool, it's nice to meet you. That's the third time, I think. So when I was still new in the organization, I did spot a certain producer who I think we could vibe. So I'd chill with her and share ideas, which I had before, So I was like, how about we do A, B, C, D? What do you think about yada, yada, yada? And she's like, hey, okay, they don't give you much to work with, by the way. So I was like, now that I've met the guy, might as well just throw them in there. So what I did later in the day, I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell you something. I do have some ideas. I ran them with him, yada, yada, yada. We had like a brief conversation. He's like, okay, you know what? Here's my card. My email is right there. Just send me an email. Now, guys, I don't mean to sound like I have trust issues, but as soon as somebody in the industry tells you send it to my email, they're just trying to shut you down. But anyway, I decided I'm going to put my thoughts together, organize them, send it to him, and then I'll follow up, like physically follow up, okay? Now, unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity. Let's go back to the time when I'm taking my bag to go to go home. And so my superior is going to call me on the side and tell me, so I'm going to call this boss person B. And he says, person B asked me who the hell you are. And he said he doesn't want to see you here. I mean, of course, he didn't say hell, but he was like, he says he doesn't know you. He doesn't know what you're doing here. And he wants you to leave. But if you want the job, you can go home and send a CV. In my face. The thing is, I have been breaking my back trying to be relevant here, And the one time I go out there to do something, it turns out it's a bad idea. And you go look me in the face, tell me to go home and send my CV? You gotta be crazy. You're tripping. My superior kept talking, but I remember I didn't hear a thing he said because I just shut out. And I was just like, ouch. I've been waking up every morning, coming to work, attending meetings I shouldn't even attend. I've been doing the most. Najituma, najifanyia mambo. I want to learn. And then I got somebody on this side who told me you can start Monday. And I got you who's telling me to go home and not come back. Guys, I was hurt. I was hurt. Maybe get some chips. I don't know if you've ever been in a position where you're really committed to something. Not because there's a catch, but you know what that opportunity means for you. For me, it meant growth. It meant another opportunity. For me, it just meant something very big. Okay, I was not in it for the check. I was just there just to capitalize on my talent and make something bigger out of it. I went home, Did I send my CV? Absolutely, positively, no. Anyway, guys, that is just one of many ouch moments I've had in my career. Thank you so much for sticking through this video. I really appreciate you. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to share. I can't wait to hear your feedback. Drop your comments below. Also, feel free to share with me some of the disappointing and ouch moments you've had in your career. I can't wait to hear them. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. I love you, appreciate you, and God bless you so much.